Fans think Hytale may be unpopular because of how long developers are taking. Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you are having a great day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how fans think Hytale may be unpopular because of how long the developers are taking.
Are you eagerly waiting for any news regarding the release of Hytale? Well, you are not alone. Hytale has been, without a doubt, one of the most highly anticipated games of the past few years.
Let's get right into the video. Since the game's debut in 2018, the developer has released fewer and fewer updates for it. Finally, the number of updates per year was reduced to 2. These upgrades were also unwelcome. The game's release date has been further delayed according to every article on Hytale's blog. According to the summer update from July 2021, the game wouldn't be finished until at least 2023, and it might even take longer. It's becoming clear that Hytale is still not prepared for public consumption. By publicizing an erroneous launch date, we don't want to commit another error. However, even with that, it might take a while before it's ready for launch. We do not anticipate it until at least 2023, they went on to say. There are 2 key considerations driving this assessment. The first is that our capabilities as a studio has significantly improved and the scope of what we can do has expanded. Put it simply, we're better at making games than we used to be, but taking full advantage of this takes time. The second consideration is that we need to develop Hytale in a way that allows us to bring it to multiple platforms as readily as possible. It's always been our goal to eventually release Hytale on mobile and consoles as well as PC, but it has become apparent that we are heading for a scenario where our community would ultimately find itself split across versions and devices. They also said, "We think it's enormously important to avoid this, to create an ecosystem where many players and players can play together and share their creations. However, this means making major changes to Hytale engine and our approach to launch, and this extends development time. It feels like an eternity every time we get news, but we haven't heard anything about Hytale in a long time. Even more so when it comes to breaking news of this magnitude. From a completely new world gen engine to revolutionary movement methods to begin with, I'd like to point out that many of these changes are completely new even by Hytale standards. As the team stated, many of these changes may not make it into the final game. Some, on the other hand, believe that the team's tardiness is announcing the changes reflects their high expectations for them. As they said themselves, we spent a lot of time over the last year conducting a deep investigations into all things we need to do in order to ensure that Hytale lives up to expectations. Let's get down to business with the game's most significant change since its announcement, in my opinion. The recent updates announcements of a multi-platform support, which is now first on the list of news, has nothing to do with the game experience, rather than something with a far greater impact on the real-world experience. That's right! We're talking about Hytale's availability and accessibility as stated in the Winter 2021 update. They said it's vitally important to us that Hytale supports a large interconnected community for many years to come. That means making sure that we are ready for the challenges that come and growth, including eventually releasing the game on multiple platforms. But what are the other secrets that we will be expecting to see? Well, let's list them out. System of Advanced Movement. If you think Hytale will be another block-style games with robotic movement in the vein of Minecraft, we believe you have high expectations. Sure, it evokes a lot of nostalgia, but let's be honest, it's a little constricting and outdated. In the most recent Hytale updates, we notice a gang of avatars walking through the game's countryside. In the closing shot, the heroes jump onto a ledge and grab it with their hands, which would be unimportant in any other context. Then there's a climbing movement that we haven't seen in Minecraft or any other Hytale update before. This feature indicates that the creators have progressed from simple movements to more complex concepts. Gamers will be able to expand their exploration's boundaries because they will not be stranded behind something that is clearly within their reach. This adds a new level of realism to the game that was previously lacking due to outdated game mechanics. Avatar personalization. We can anticipate more options for customizing our appearance in the game from the game's creators. All our wardrobe is a means of expressing ourselves, and the game's creators are constantly adding new fashions and styles options to broaden these avatars' perspective. This year, the firm is concentrating on a number of these issues, and we can anticipate them working on even more minor details in the future to accommodate people of all backgrounds. Features such as eye color, hairstyles, and the player's physique will be added. In addition to these, we can expect more facial details and even fantasy elements.